Hello friends, welcome to this session, and in this session we will discuss about the current distribution in 1.5 CV scheme. From this session onwards and in next 3 to 4 sessions we will discuss about the CT connections in 1.5 circuit breaker schemes, how the main and tie base current transformers are connected for the protection system and for the measurement system. Then we will discuss how the current are distributed in various cities, that is in the main bay and the tie bay cities, during fault condition, during normal power flow conditions, and what happens if the CT star points are not proper. What happens if one of the CT star point is incorrect? What happens when both the star points are incorrect? That means the star points of both main bay and tie bay cities are incorrect. As well as we will discuss about the situations like when one of the main bay is under shutdown, the second main bay is under shutdown, or the tiebreaker is under shutdown. Also, we will discuss about the situation in which one feeder is in shutdown while all the circuit breakers are in closed position. Then in that conditions, when all circuit breakers are in closed conditions and we see the current in both main bay city and tie bay city, but why there is zero current in the measurement system and in the protection system. We will discuss about each of these things in details starting from this session onwards, and hopefully in coming 3 to 4 sessions we will cover all these things. One point which is very important to mention here is that this session is prepared by using my handwritten notes which I have created only for this particular session, and that's why this session is being delayed, because firstly I have to make all the different types of connections for making the notes, and then after that handwritten notes I have to scan and then upload into this PPT slides. So it takes time, and that's why we have not uploaded any video on this Wednesday. But now hopefully we will try to cover these things in our coming sessions, and keep watching. Once you watch this video from the beginning to the end, I am pretty sure that you will be in a better position to understand the various concepts related with the current distribution in 1.5 circuit breaker scheme. So now, without wasting further time, let us start with our today's topic. And this is basically the scheme of 1.5 circuit breaker. This I have already explained in one of the earlier slides or one of the earlier video session when I have discussed about the bus switching schemes. I have already covered the bus switching schemes in one of the session, so that's why I am not going to discuss about this thing in this session. Now basically what is being discussed here is that this is your one bus, this is bus 1, and this is the second bus which is bus 2. The isolators both side of the circuit breaker, and then the CT, that is these 4 equipments, one breaker, 2 isolators on both sides of the circuit breaker, and 1 CT. This comprises of 1 bay, and then the second set of circuit breaker, 2 isolators and CT, it is the second bay, and the third set of circuit breaker, CT and 2 isolators is called third bay or second main bay. 2 feeders are connected, one from each main and tie bay intersection point. This is feeder 1, and secondly this is your next feeder, feeder 3 or feeder 2. Here I have shown 4 feeders, feeder from F1 to 3 and 4. These are 4 feeders, and the CT1 is basically for the main bay current transformer, CT3 is for the current transformer of the second main bay, and CT2 is the tie bay current transformer, which is already mentioned over here. Now if you see here, one more thing which is very important to see is that if you see this current transformer of main bay, I have shown this P1 towards bus bar side and P2 towards this feeder side. Second, this is the tie bay current transformer whose P2 is towards the feeder 1 side and P1 is towards the feeder 2 side, or for this particular slide, P2 is towards feeder 2 and P1 is towards feeder 4. The second main base city, that is CT3, here P2 is towards bus bar and P1 is towards feeder 4. The important point over here is that this P1 and P2, this can be on any sides. It can, the P1 of CT1 can be towards feeder 2 sides, or it can be towards bus bar side. Likewise, the P1 P2 of CT2 can be opposite as that of this slide, and P1 P2 of CT3 can also be opposite of as that shown in this particular slide. Basically, this P1 and P2 sides of the city depends upon the city erection during the initial erection works inside the substation. So we don't have any control over this P1 and P2. That is, in which side you will see the P1 and in which side you will see the P2. That purely depends upon the initial erection of the instrument transformer in your switchyard. Once this CT has been erected and your P1 and P2 is fixed, now only point which is important for us is to form our star points towards the protected object side, and that I have already explained in one of our earlier session. And if you have any doubt regarding that, you can directly refer that session, and then you will understand why we always form the star point toward the protected object side. So in this particular case, if you see now CT1, in this CT1, this P2 is towards the feeder 2 side. So if this CT1 is used for the protection of feeder, and one of the core, if it is one of the core of this CT1 is used for the protection of this feeder, then for that particular core, a star point must be formed towards P2 side. Similarly, for this current transformer 2, suppose one of the core is used for protection of feeder 2, then the star points of that particular core must be formed towards P2 side, or in case of secondary, it must be formed in the S2 side. For this second core, suppose it is used for protection of feeder 4, then you have to form the star point towards P1 side, or in terms of secondary, towards the S1 side of the core 2 of CT2. Likewise, you have to form the star points for CT3 also. We will see about this formation of star points in our next slide. So this is the complete scheme. Basically, how the star points are formed is shown in this diagram. This is the complete picture of your CT connection inside the switchyard, and this complete arrangement of CT connection is the magnified view of this slide 1. Here in this slide 1, basically this is the single line diagram. So in the single line diagram, everything is shown in a 3-phase basis. That means the breaker is not shown on per phase. That is, the breaker R phase, Y phase, B phase position is not shown here. It is a 3-phase positioning of circuit breaker, 3-phase CT, that is complete CT of R phase, Y phase, B phase, complete isolators 89A and 89B, not individual phases are shown. Now for the connection of the CT, now for the formation of a star point, what we see over here is that we have shown CT1 of R phase, CT1 Y phase, and CT1 B phase. Similarly, CT2, now if you see here, CT2 is a type A CT, and for our particular purpose, one of the core of CT2 must be used for the protection of feeder 2, and one of the core of CT2 should be used for the protection of feeder 4. That's why I have shown here CT2A, that means suppose the core A or core 1 of CT2, and CT2B, that means the core B or core 2 of CT2. Thereafter, the important point is that CT1, now the primary terminal P2 is towards the protected object side. That's why we have to form the star on the P2 side, or in terms of secondary, on the S2 side. So in CT1, I have formed the star points on the P2 side, and these are the these 3 lines basically of feeder 1. It shows the R phase, Y phase, and B phase of your feeders. These are the isolators of your feeder disconnectors, line disconnectors, or T isolators of your transformers. So this is R phase, Y phase, and B phase. I have not shown the breakers and isolators of all the bays over here, so that the diagram remains little bit less complicated, because if we show all the breakers and isolators over here, then the diagram becomes complicated, and it is of no use for us if you don't understand the concept of CT star point and CT connections of the main and tie bays. That's why I have shown only current transformer of main bay, current transformer of tie bay, current transformer core 2 of tie bay, and current transformer of main bay 2. If I will consider the cases where the main bay is supposed under shutdown, or tie bay is supposed under shutdown, or the feeder is under shutdown. I will explain these things by mentioning in the heading itself that in this particular case, suppose main breaker is under shutdown, or if in this particular case, suppose tie breaker is under shutdown. That I will explain to you. If nothing is mentioned, that means all the circuit breakers are closed in present case, and in all the following slides, if nothing is mentioned, then it is assumed that all the breakers, that means the breaker 1, 2 and 3, that means these breakers 1, breaker 2 and breaker 3 are in the closed position. If for any particular case one breaker is assumed to be opened, then that is already mentioned in your slides and in these notes. Now for this CT1, since its P2 side is towards the feeder, that's why P2 is the star point is formed on the P2 side. Similarly, for CT2A, that means the core A of tie CT, a star point is formed towards P2 side. Now comes the main thing, which is the connection. So how we connect this CTs? R phase of main CT is connected with the R phase of the tie CT. The external terminals are connected together. So R phase of main CT is connected with R phase of tie CT, and then uh, sorry, basically this is to be connected from here, R phase, and this is Y phase, and this is to be connected to here. So your R phase of CT1 is connected with R phase of CT2, and then it is going to your relay coils, R phase coil. Similarly, Y phase of CT1 is will be connected with the Y phase of CT2A, and then this single wire, that is the Y phase of CT1 and Y phase of CT2A are parallel together, and one single wire is now connected to the Y phase coil of your relay. Similarly, B phase of CT1 and B phase of CT2A will be connected together in parallel, and one single wire from this parallel connection will be connected to the B phase coil of your relay. Then the star point of CT1 and a star point of CT2A, it will be connected together, that is parallel, and one single wire is then connected to the neutral coil of your protective relay. It may be your 7SA522, that is Siemens make distance protection relay, REL670 of ABB make distance protection relay, or D60, P444, SEL421, any relay, the connection will be exactly the same. So now this is the simple thing which is mentioned here, is that the CT star point is formed, CT star point, that is the CT star point for CT1, and CT star point for CT2A is formed towards protected feeder 1. Here the feeder which is to be protected is feeder 1, that's why a star point is formed towards feeder 1 for both these CTs, and main and tie CT are connected in parallel. If you see over here, main CT R phase are joined with tie CT R phase. This is your connection of main CT R phase, tie CT R phase, and then one single wire will be connected to relay R phase coil. Similarly, if you see the second feeder, in this second feeder, this is your core 2 of tie CT, that's why it is shown as CT2B. So CT2A and CT2B basically is your current transformer, tie bay current transformer. So this is CT2A is suppose core 1. So suppose CT2A is your core 1, and then CT2B is suppose your core 2 of tie bay. So this core 2 of tie bay, if you see here, its a star point now will be formed towards P1 side. Why the star point is formed towards P1 side is because now this for this tie bay, this core, particular core, your protected feeder is here. This is protected feeder 2, and this particular CT sees this feeder on its P1 side. That's why you have to form the star points on P1 side. So P1 of R phase is connected with P1 of Y phase, is connected with P1 of B phase to form the star points. Similarly, for CT3, your primary side P1, now this primary P1 is towards the protected object side. That's why you have to form the star points on the P1 side. Now, once these star points are formed, the remaining connection are very simple. R phase of CT2B will be connected with the R phase of CT3, and this parallel wire will now be connected with the relay coil. Similarly, Y phase of CT2B will be connected with Y phase of CT3, and one single wire will be connected to the Y phase of the relay coils. Likewise for B phase, and similarly for your star point, that is for the neutral wires. This is basically the complete scheme for 1.5 circuit breaker schemes, complete connections of all CTs. Basically, this CT, that is CT main base CT and tie base CT, that is main bay and tie base CT. These main bay and tie base CT, these are always connected in parallel. These are connected in parallel, and we will see in our next slides that uh, if these are connected in parallel, basically what this connection means, is this in additive polarity or is it a subtractive polarity? So that we will see in the next slide. And once you see the actual current distribution, then you will be in a better position to understand these concepts. So now I think up to this point everything is clear. If not, just pause this slide for 5 or 10 seconds. See this connection. Try to draw the same connection by your own on one piece of paper, and then you will understand how the star points are formed. Basically, this is very simple concepts, and if you have seen the last sessions on the CT star point formation, then it will be a very easy things. But once you understand these concepts, it will be very interesting to understand the other relevant concepts of 1.5 circuit breaker schemes that is about to follow from next slides onwards. So now this is our first slide, or the first actual slides in which we will discuss about the current distributions. And basically what I am going to discuss over here is the load current distribution in 1.5 CB schemes. So here we will discuss load current distributions, and basically your all circuit breakers are in closed condition. So if you see over here, all circuit breakers are in closed condition. That means your circuit breaker 1, circuit breaker 2 and circuit breaker 3. That means this circuit breaker, this circuit breaker and this circuit breaker, all three circuit breakers are in closed condition. This is the assumption that we are making over here. The start points of this feeder 1, for feeder 1, the star point of CT1 is formed towards P2 side, and a star point of tie CT core 1 is formed towards P2 side. That this connection I have already explained in this slide. Now similarly for feeder 2, the only thing over here is, now I am not considering all the phase wise connections of feeder. I am considering only suppose one phase for better understanding, and suppose this phase is your R phase, so I am considering only one phase for better understanding. And for less complexity, the concept will remain same for all the phases. That's why I'm considering only one phase. And now the actual current distribution. Suppose from this feeder 1, 1000 ampere of current is coming towards your substation. That means suppose 1000 ampere of current or the corresponding power is being imported by this bus from the remote bus. So 1000 ampere of current is being imported. Now once this 1000 ampere current enters your substation, suppose out of this 1000 ampere, 800 ampere current goes towards bus 2 side and 200 ampere current goes towards bus 1 side. So this is the simple case. Now if the 800 ampere current flows through this CT2A, that means the 800 ampere current will also flow in the CT2A, because this CT1A and CT2A and CT2B are basically the same CT, same tie CT, and only difference is these are two different cores. So if 800 ampere flows through this core, then 800 ampere will also flow in this core in the primary sides. Now suppose in this feeder you are exporting a power of 2000 amperes. So here 1000 ampere of current is coming from remote bus to our substation, and now 2000 ampere of current is being exported from this substation to remote substation. So now this is the 2000 ampere current which is being exported. Out of these 2000 ampere, 800 ampere of current is coming from this city. That means the remaining 1200 of current, ampere of current must come through this second bus. So suppose if this is your second bus, if this is your second bus, that this bus must feed 1200 ampere of current. So that's why 1200 ampere of current is coming from this bus. 800 ampere current is this. So 800 plus 1200, and then 2000 ampere current will be exported to remote bus through this feeder. Now, how this current is actually coming to your relays or your measurement system, be it your BCU or the measurement, the energy meters or the other measuring instruments, how this current are then measured by these relays or these measuring devices is now explained through these arrows. So now, for simplicity, I have assumed all CT ratio, that is CT ratio of CT1, CT2A, CT2B, and CT3. I have assumed all CT ratio to be 1000 ampere. So now, if 2000 ampere of current is flowing from this CT in the primary side, the corresponding secondary current will be 200 divided by 1000, that means 0.2 ampere. Similarly, if 800 ampere of current is flowing through this core of tie CT, that means in the secondary side 800 divided by 1000, 0.8 ampere of current will flow. Similarly, for this 0.8 and this 1200 divided by 1000, that means 1.2 ampere. Now look at the polarity. If you remember from our last to last session, I have already explained that if the current is entering through P1 side in the primary, then the current must leave from the S1 in the secondary. Or if the current is leaving from the P1 on the primary side, then the current must enter through the S1 in the secondary side. So if you consider this particular CT1, here what is happening is that current is now leaving P1 terminal in the primary side. So current is leaving P1 terminal in the primary side. That means current must enter through S1 terminal on the secondary side. So that's why it is shown here that current is leaving through the P1 terminal on the primary side. So the corresponding current will enter through the S1 terminal. So if it is P1, P2, that means secondary side it will be S1, S2, and current will enter through S1 terminals. And how much current will enter? That means 200 divided by 1000 CT ratio, that is 0.2 ampere. So now 0.2 ampere of current will flow through this side like this, and now from star points it will go like this. Similarly, in the second CT, if you see over here, current is entering through P2 or current is leaving P1 terminal. That means current must enter through the S1 terminal. So it is shown with the dotted arrow that the current is now entering through S1 terminal, and how much current will enter? That is 800 divided by 1000. So 0.8 ampere. Now 0.8 ampere of current, it will go like this. It from this dotted arrow you can see like this, and at this node, if you see, suppose this is your node. Now if at this node you see that 0.2 ampere current is coming from this side, and 0.8 ampere of current is coming through this side. So the total current over here will be the summation of these two current, and that is your 0.2 ampere plus 0.8 ampere. So 1 ampere of current will be flowing from this parallel connection of your star points. Now this 1 ampere current, it is coming like this. If you follow this dotted arrow, 1 ampere current, it enters through the neutral CT of your relays or measuring devices. Then from the phase side, R phase, 1 ampere will exit. So 1 ampere coming from here, 1 ampere going, now 1 ampere. And once this 1 ampere now reaches up to your this node, at this node, this 1 ampere must flow in these two directions. One is this and another is this direction. And in this direction, how much current is required? The required current is only 0.8 ampere, because now if you follow this path, so this is your 0.8 ampere which is required. So the 0.8 ampere current will flow from this side, and the remaining current or 0.2 ampere will flow from this side. So that's why this 1 ampere, now it will be divided at this node, 0.2 ampere in this side and 0.8 ampere in this side. So this, if you see 0.2, now it will be going like this for this dotted arrow, and it will come back at this node 0.2, and now 0.8 it is going like this. And if you trace this arrow, 0.8 at this node, 0.2 plus 0.8, 1 ampere, and it will flow like this. And if you remember from our last to last session, where I have explained that if your current enters from neutral and leaves through phase CT in the relays or BCU, then it will detect it as a reverse. It will detect it in the reverse direction. If the current enters through phase CT and leave through neutral, then only it will detect it as a forward. So now in this case, current is entering through neutral and leaving through the phase CT. So the relay will detect it as a reverse current. And what is the meaning of reverse? That means now relay will see that the power is flowing in the reverse direction. And is it correct? Yes, power is actually flowing in the reverse direction because your bus is importing the power from the remote substation. So power is being imported from the remote substation to our substation. That's why the flow of current in your relay is from the neutral to the phase CTs, and that's why this CT connection is correct. Now look at the second set of feeder. In this second feeder, this is the 2000 ampere current which is being exported, and that must you must get this direction and the magnitude of current in your relay, in your measuring devices, in your DCU, everything, and that we will verify. So now suppose 2000 ampere is being exported, 800 ampere of current is coming from this side, 1200 ampere of current is coming from this side. Now this 800 ampere in the primary, if it is converted to the secondary, so 800 divided by 1000, it will be 0.8 ampere. So now 1200 ampere in this CT divided by 1000 ampere, 1000 CTR, that is CT ratio, so you will get 1.2 ampere in the secondary. If you see in this CT, current is entering through P1 terminals in the primary side. That means the current must leave through the S1 terminal in the secondary. And basically, the side which is this side, which is corresponding to your P1, this side which is corresponding to P1 is basically S1 side, and this side which is corresponding to P2 is your S2 side. So current is now entering through P1 terminal. That means current must leave through S1 terminals. So current is leaving through S1 terminal, and how much current will leave? 0.8 ampere. If you trace this dotted arrow, 0.8 amperes, it will be leaving, and it is coming, and it will come up to this point. Likewise, in this second CT, if you see over here, the current is entering through P1 terminals, and that means the current must leave through S1 terminals in the secondary side. And how much current it must leave? The 1200 ampere in the primary divided by the CT ratio of 1000. So 1200 divided by 1000, which is 1.2 ampere. And now this 1.2 ampere, if you trace this dotted arrow, it will be coming like this, and at this junction, 0.8 ampere of current is your coming from this side, 0.8 ampere, and 1.2 ampere current is coming from this side. So the total current in this direction will be zero point 0.8 plus 1.2, which is your 2 ampere. So now this 2 ampere current will come from the summation of these two currents, the parallel connections of the tie CT and this main CT. So 2 ampere current will come. This 2 ampere will now go to the phase CT, and not this from here. This 2 ampere will leave the neutral side. It will go back, and it will now reach at this point. So once it reaches at this point, this 2 ampere, now from here it will have two paths. One is this, and the another is this path. So out of these 2 ampere current, now 1.2 amperes should go to this side, and 0.8 will go to this side. That's why now if you see here, 2 ampere, 1.2 will be going like this for this CT neutralization, and 0.8 will go from this side. And if you see over here, what is happening here is the current is actually inside the relay or inside your measuring device. If you see, the current enters through the phase CT and leave through the neutral CT. So the relay will detect it as a forward direction, and once the relay detects it in the forward direction, so is it correct? Yes, because now your actual power flow is from your substation to the next substation, that is in the forward direction. So power is being exported from my substation from the next remote substation. That's why it is in the forward direction, and relay is also sensing this in the forward direction. The importance of this current direction actually comes into picture in both measurement, because if this current direction is not proper, then your relay might, or the measuring device might see import of power as an export, and your metering will not be proper. The another factor for this improper direction comes for your directional relay. If your directional relay sees the forward power flow or forward current in the reverse direction, then it might operate for forward fault in a reverse zone, and your fault clearance or you might lose your selectivity. So that's why this is very important to connect your star points towards the protected object side and connect your CTs in this fashion for the main bay and for the tie bay. Now come to the next point. In this case, I have considered now, for the sake of simplicity, from now onwards, I am not going to consider both feeders. I will consider only one feeder, and I will explain to you the various current distributions when suppose one of the breaker is under shutdown, second breaker is under shutdown, or the CT star point is not proper. So I will explain each of these concepts. So in this particular case, I am now going to explain you the current distribution for feeder 1 for the incorrect CT star point of tie CT, and then all CB are in closed condition. What is the meaning of incorrect CT star point? Basically, if you see over here, the CT star point of the main CT is formed towards the protected object side. So the CT star point is formed towards the P2 side. But for tie CT, the star point, instead of forming on the P2 side, it is being formed on P1 side, and which is not the desired direction of star point formation. The star point is formed opposite to the protected object side. So now what happens? The remaining connections are same. R phase CT of mains bay is connected with the R phase CT of your tie bay, and then one wire will be connected to your relay coil, R phase coil. Similarly, Y phase CT of main bay will be connected with Y phase CT of tie bay, and one wire will be then connected with the Y phase relay coil. Similarly for B phase, and in the end for the neutral. Now consider the same case in which 1000 ampere of current is being imported from the remote bus to our substation, and 2000 ampere is going in this direction and 800 ampere is going in this direction, which is exactly the same case here. Now if 200 ampere is flowing in this direction in the primary, so in the secondary side, this 200 divided by CT ratio of 1000, this 0.2 ampere now will flow in this direction. Similarly for this CT, 800 ampere in the primary, the secondary current will be 800 divided by 1000 with the CT ratio. It will be 0.8 ampere, and it will flow from this terminal to this terminal. Why from this terminal to this terminal? Because the current is leaving P1 terminal, so current must enter through S1 terminal. So now if you see over here, what happens is that your current of 0.2 ampere, how you can get current of 0.2 ampere over here is that if you press this dotted arrow, you will get this 0.2 ampere, or if you see this orange color arrow, this is 0.2 ampere which is flowing like this in this CT, and now it will leave through this star point side and it will come to this junction. Similarly, if you see this second CT, this 0.8 ampere current, it is coming from this side, and now this 0.8 ampere current, it will come to this node. So at this this node, if you see this, 0.8 ampere current is coming from this side, and out of this 0.8, 0.2 ampere current is going to this side. So this is 0.8 ampere current, and 0.2 ampere is going to this side. So how much current the relay coil will get? Relay coil will get the difference of these two currents, and it will get the current 0.8 minus 0.2. That's why it is shown as 0.6 ampere. So now 0.6 ampere current is coming from this side. This current 0.6 ampere will now enter to the R phase coil, and now it will leave through the neutral. So now 0.6 ampere is leaving. If you trace this dotted arrows, this 0.6 will reach up to this point. Now at this node, if you see, 0.6 ampere current is flowing from this side, and 0.2 ampere is coming from this side, and this 0.2, why it is coming? It is coming because of this. So this is your 0.2 and this is your 0.6. So total current which will now at this junction, so this total current will be 0.2 plus 0.6. So you will get 0.2 plus 0.6, which is 0.8 ampere. It will now in the secondary circuit, if you see the CT secondary circuit, the current is actually distributed as per the actual current in the primary side. But what happens in the relay coils? The relay coil gets the current only 0.6 ampere. So although your primary side current is balanced, the relay is measuring a lower value of current. And if you convert it with the CT ratio of 1000, the relay is actually measuring a current of 600 ampere only. Instead of 1000, it will measure a current of 600. Why? Because of your CT connection in difference polarity. CT is not connected in additive polarity, but it is connected in a differentive polarity. So if CT is not connected in additive polarity, you will get an incorrect measurement, first thing. And second thing, if you see over here, the current enters through R and it leaves through N. That means it sees the current in the forward direction. However, in actual condition, it is the current which is in the reverse direction, because you are importing the power from the remote bus to your substation. So if your CT star point is incorrect, then what happens? First thing, your measurement will be uh, incorrect. First thing, the measurement will be incorrect. That is the first thing, incorrect measurement, which is your one thing. And the second important thing, you will lose the directionality. So your relay will lose the directionality feature. So these are basically the two different things. That's why the CT star points are always formed towards the protected object side, and these are then connected in the additive polarity. These are never connected in the subtractive polarity. Uh, Now, in this particular slides, what I am considering over here is that the again the condition is same, current distribution of figure 1 only, but your both main and tie CT star points are incorrect. So if you see over here, this main and tie, both main and tie CT star points are incorrect. So what is the meaning of both main and tie CT star points incorrect? Means the star points of CT1 is not formed on P2 side, but instead it is formed on P1 side. Similarly, for CT2A, a star point is formed on P1 side. Once the star points are formed, you are connected your R phase CT of main bay with the R phase CT of tie bay, and one wire will not be connected with the relay coil. Similarly, Y phase CT of main bay will be connected with the Y phase CT of tie bay, and then one wire will be connected to the Y phase coil. B phase CT of main bay will be connected with the B phase CT of tie bay, and one wire will be connected to the B phase relay coil. And the star points of the main CT and the star point of the tie CT will be joined together, and one wire will be connected to the neutral coil of your relay. So now in this case, if you see, suppose the same case, 1000 ampere of current is coming from the remote bus to our substation. Out of this 1000 ampere, suppose 200 ampere is going